This head shake or shimmy dance is a bullying tactic. Dominant females use it to force smaller females to the outside of the show. The top female hangs on to center stage, which may help males to pick her out. These battle scars may show she's recently mated. They're made when the male bites during copulation. Researchers have so far identified 9 distinct postures, but there may well be other more subtle signals that we haven't yet detected. The head shaking creates pressure waves in the water, perhaps another way of getting messages across. In its simplest form, communication is instinctive, but in the hammerhead's dynamic hierarchy, it seems much more complex than that. If this is true, can sharks team up to solve a shared problem such as finding food? Here in Western Australia, bronze whalers do appear to work together to herd shoals of anchovies inshore. But whether this is really teamwork or just competition is still hard to say. To find out more, let's see these social sharks at work during the highlight of their feeding calendar. This time, RoboShark is braving stormy waters to report back on one of the most dramatic natural events on Earth. Each June, millions of sardines head north up the coast of South Africa, eating the plankton nourished by a seasonal current of nutrient-rich cold water. The sardine run creates an immense slick up to 30 kilometers long. Bronze whalers are attracted in their thousands with a multitude of other predators, including common dolphins. These sophisticated mammals are known to hunt together and to use complex communication. The dolphins buzz RoboShark with ultrasound. But it seems he's just a distraction and they move on. Following close behind are the bronze whaler sharks. Sharks are believed to eavesdrop on the dolphins' calls and shadow them to the feeding grounds. Once there, the dolphins start to chase the sardines to the surface, driving them together into a bait ball. Another diner joins the fray, a Brouder's whale. Close to the surface, the sardines are within range of yet another predator, Cape gannets. The plunge-diving gannets create infrasonic booms. This cacophony of sounds draws in the sharks. fur seals avoid the shark's front end. The dolphins work together to corral the sardines into ever tighter balls. They appear to blow curtains of bubbles to help trap the shoal against the ocean surface. This technique, called bubble netting, involves the dolphins playing different yet highly coordinated roles. But are the bronze whalers doing the same? They can't blow bubbles, but they do appear to operate in a loose group to push the sardines upwards. The sharks seem to stick close enough together to create a moving wall, which may help them to trap the sardines. They do appear to hunt cooperatively. So, as well as a phenomenal range of super-tuned senses, it seems that sharks have some degree of intelligence. But how smart are so-called man-eaters? RoboShark's next set of missions is to meet them and find out. First on the hit list is the bull shark, #1 shark man-eater. Bull sharks live in shallow seas and estuaries across the tropics, where they come into contact with humans more than any other large, powerful shark. What makes them extra dangerous is that they can also survive in fresh water. RoboShark is on a reconnaissance in Africa. He's traveling upriver to try and make contact. In the murky water, bull sharks are able to navigate because they have acute hearing and sense of smell. They're likely to spot RoboShark long before he sees them. And in this world, sharks have deadly competitors. Nile crocodiles. So far, the bull sharks are proving elusive, but they're more active at night. RoboShark has entered enemy territory and stumbles on a carcass. Crocodile kill. There are documented fights between bull sharks and crocodiles, sometimes to the death. This time, our hero had to admit defeat. But he's not beaten yet. There is another place where contact with bull sharks is guaranteed. After a few repairs, RoboShark is back in business. At last. But what will this quarter-ton tough guy make of our fiberglass weakling? The bull sharks seem unmoved by our spy's presence. Again, perhaps they're not fooled. Part of what makes these big, powerful sharks so terrifying is that they're comfortable in very shallow water, where most attacks take place. Here, they've learnt to turn up at the right time in the right place to get food. Gary Adkisson has been feeding bull sharks for more than 10 years. He knows them individually and believes they have their own personalities and that they recognize him too. The sharks bite and jostle each other to get to the food. Perhaps they see us as competitors too. Experts also think most shark attacks are accidental, perhaps in murky water, or warning when a swimmer blunders into the shark's personal space. Winded RoboShark calls time out. But swimmers in the shallows aren't the only ones at risk from big sharks. Around 40% of shark victims are surfers. In temperate zones, they share the offshore waters with perhaps the most notorious of all sharks, the great white. In the vast majority of cases, the shark ignores the surfer, but there's always going to be the odd occasion when it doesn't. Since whites have such acute eyesight, many researchers now doubt the old theory that they mistake surfers for seals. The rare attacks are now attributed not to predation, but to that first marker of intelligence, curiosity. One theory is that inquisitive great whites are tempted to give chase much as a dog will chase a passing car. The fact that 70% of white shark attacks aren't fatal seems to back up this idea. So shark attacks remain extremely rare and seem to be more about curiosity and competition than predation. In the kelp forests off the Cape of South Africa, RoboShark's ready for his final and most risky mission. He's here to find out whether smart sharks really do learn and adapt to help them catch their natural prey. Cape fur seals, here to breed on Seal Island. They seem unsure what to make of RoboShark. But suddenly, the real thing. Each winter, groups of a dozen or more great white sharks move in and hold the colony under siege. It's one of the most concentrated populations of great whites in the world. But agile Cape fur seals are no pushover. and the sharks need all their skill and their intelligence to catch them. To find their own food, the seals must go as far as 50 kilometers out to sea. At first light, they prepare for the journey. The larger, more experienced great whites know where the best ambush sites are. As far as 32 meters down, they silently patrol a hunting zone around the island, waiting for the silhouette of passing seals above. The seals have no choice but to bunch together and make a break for it. Purposing for their lives, they try to clear the danger zone, a 400-meter radius around the island. Since RoboShark can only do a quarter of their speed, he's quickly left behind. But now a real shark spots the seals. And this is when a lifetime of investigation, trial and error, memory and even teamwork has to come together. Now the shark has singled out an individual seal and rockets from the depths at up to 50 kilometers an hour. Attacks like this require enormous skill, and about half are unsuccessful. With each minute that passes, it's more likely that the agile seal will escape. So for the shark, the pressure is on to make a massive, clean first hit. Individual sharks seem to develop their own strategies. Some use the vertical explosion. Other sharks approach their victim horizontally. This ability to modify and specialize their attack strategy is clear proof of great white's intelligence. But they can still lose their fresh kill. Great whites appear to travel in loose groups of 5 or 6, and they're quite happy to gazump another's prey. But there does seem to be a kind of social pecking order. Jaw gaping and pectoral fin lowering are well-documented signs of dominance, a way of enforcing the social hierarchy. But there's one shark in these waters that definitely doesn't fit in. RoboShark is way out of his depth. He's in the danger zone. The great white's curiosity has been aroused by his strange signals. And just as with surfers, this soon leads to a more jaws-on investigation. RoboShark has paid the price for spying on the biggest of the predatory sharks and perhaps the smartest one of all. He's given us new insights into shark behavior. Researchers are writing a scientific paper on his shark encounters. But for now, his work is done. RoboShark was only a machine, but we're now killing flesh and blood sharks in unprecedented numbers. At least 100 million die each year, either caught accidentally or slaughtered deliberately to be made into shark fin soup. 75% of threshers are now gone. Experts fear the worst for many shark species. The shark's success has always been accredited to their superb design, but it's down to brain power too. Perhaps a smart shark would be easier for us to care about, but if we push them to extinction, we'll never know how smart sharks really are.